Hello and welcome back. This is Gennaro Washington, your lead instructor, CEO of Cortex Solutions, and we're going to be talking about access control mechanisms. Brought to you by ACSMI. Let's get started. So, access control. Now, this is all about who can access what, under what conditions. You may simply see it as ACL's access control list as well too. But there are also a whole family of controls like in NIST 800-53. Where it's going to specify simple controls based upon attributes, based upon dynamic, based upon certain mechanisms, and it's all revolving around protecting sensitive data. Because again, we only want authorized information being accessed by authorized individuals. But what was I referring to? Oh yeah, confidentiality. Now, so fundamentals though of access control. Confidentiality, integrity, availability, we all talked about it before. Now, one of the main things though, it really ensures that the users that are authorized can access and perform specific actions. We talked about the difference between authorization, right, and authentication. Because there's a difference there, but it's the core concept of access control. Whereas authentication, like we talked about before, is going to check the identity of the actual user using the username and password, whereas authorization verifies if that authenticated entity, right, that individual that we just used their username and password for, has permission to do certain things. Now let's talk about the different control models. We have discretionary, mandatory, and role-based. Mandatory, this is more so focused on the government side of things. Think of like the government, think about top secret classified. This is access that is done prior and it's strict and you don't really touch it. You don't do anything else to it. Whereas discretionary is a little bit different. You can grant access just by you going and granting access to something. Or look at it this way, it's a user sharing their personal folder, right? That's different. Whereas if you're looking at it from the mandatory access control, this is all about saying, okay, well, we have a classified defense document. Let's say it's a top secret or secret, and it's only accessible to those individuals that have that certain classification. And then you have role-based. Now, this is all about, having access to information based upon the role that's assigned with this user. Think about HR manager. Think about the, sales rep. They have two different types of permissions. It's always going to be role-based. It's always going to be different because, well, the role is different. Now, principles of implementing advanced access control. Now we're going to look at a little bit more advanced perspective. Least privilege, of course. This is users only getting access, minimum access to the actual tools and tasks that they need to perform. Whereas a separation of duties is saying, okay, I'm going to divide the actual task among multiple users. This helps in, not adhering to the aspect of egging on the insider threat. Because, you're requiring dual authorization from multiple people to move funds somewhere. Not just one person, not relying on one person to have all the keys to the kingdom. Then you have your zero trust architecture. Now this is all about never trust, but always verify. This applies to all users, all devices, no matter who you are on the network. Now this is implementing some multi-factor authentication and then compliance checks with devices to make sure that, hey, if they're accessing something, they have the right to do so. They're the right device and there's no issues there. And then you have access control within IoT and cloud devices. So cloud systems, it kind of makes it a little bit more complicated when we're talking about access management because you're adding on multi-tenant environments. So you're not just looking at a private cloud or a hybrid or a public cloud. Now you got a lot of things going on inside one environment. So some strategies though for managing these access controls are going to be identity federation, privilege access management, continuous monitoring. Now these are all ways you can take it a step further, right? We're looking at continuous monitoring like we talked about before. This is about real-time analysis, detecting anomalies in real time. And it's going to be based upon the behavior of that file or this user. And then reviewing the auditing aspect of certain roles and positions. Now you can periodically conduct audits to ensure that permissions are still good, are still sound, because guess what? People may leave or people may come in the organization. So you got to make sure that, we are stopping or provisioning or deprovisioning, I should say, when it comes to user accounts. An example is going to be, let's say we're looking at implementing multi-factor authentication right for system logs. Now, in order to do so, we're combining a traditional password with something like biometrics or a hardware token where you have like a key fob or a hardware device that has, hey, I have a code here on it. Now I'm going to add on that level of authentication. And then you have mobile authenticators where you can have like Google Authenticator, for instance. If you try to log into something, it's going to send a code to your phone, to the application. You can only see it if you have that application on that phone, if you have that phone in your hand. But that's an example for you when it comes to just implementing some multi-factor authentication. Now, keep in mind that, when we look at access control, think about it like this. You don't want to have or give everyone all the access they could possibly have. No. You don't want anyone having super admin access if they just don't really need it, right? Only use least privilege, okay? And only give access to users and individuals that actually need that access, especially if we're talking about role-based. But again, it's been great. It's been fun. Again, I'm Gennaro, CEO of Cortex Solutions. I'm your lead instructor, brought to you by ACSMI. And we just talked about access control methods. Take care.